have started recording the meeting, and so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, let you give your hellos, and then I can jump right into the presentation if you like.
Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Meads, Piedmont Natural Gas. Fortunately, I'm traveling down the road right now, so I can't see much of the presentation or see who's on. But welcome to the Pasquotank Camden UCC meeting, and thanks for everybody jumping on.
So Jeremy, with us today, we have Angela. We have her. Let's see, we've got Lauren. We have Brian Tyson, Daniel Merritt, Brian Morehouse, and Nick Lollies. So if did I pronounce that right, Lollies? Nick, if you don't mind, placing your information in the chat so that we will have a record of your attendance. And let's see, I've got Brian, Elizabeth City, over in that area with the Resource Center. Okay, cool. All right. Well, with that, I will hop into the presentation, and we'll kind of rock and roll with that, if that's okay. Okay, can everyone see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. Okay, so here we are. We're still in August. We had a wonderful 811 day. We struggled with some of the weather. Our whole team actually traveled to Washington back around August the 8th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And so with that, I'm going to show you a couple little slides here. So we went to the Washington Nationals, and we participated with PHMSA. We had a full takeover of the stadium there. So that was pretty cool to be in Washington, D.C. We also had a really cool little pocket park area that we vended at. And then we were inside the park with a full takeover with PHMSA. We also had Josh Williams, who was he is the Xfinity driver. And he was there with us as well, throwing out the first pitch. So we really had a great time there. And then we traveled back. And then on August the 11th, we actually were out at the Greensboro Grasshoppers with our mini excavator. And we participated with Colonial Pipeline for that. So 811 day came and went. It was a wonderful day, and certainly was just a great reminder, nationally, that 811 is the phone number. All right, so just a reminder, all our calendars, I know you see this month in and month out, but if you do not have the app downloaded, I certainly encourage you to do that. All our calendars are there. You can also go out to our website for NC811, and then the dedicated website for all the UCCs at ncucc.org. So all the calendars are there. I do want to remind you that we also created a Facebook for the UCCs. So if you go out to Facebook, it's NCUCC. Steve tries to update all the upcoming events for the week as far as UCCs, and all that information should be out there as well. So I hope that you'll go and like and join our group. Well, let's hop into to our slides for the month, and then we'll break it down into our 3-county area. So month to date, we ended up for July of this year at 247,793 tickets. That is up 12.7%. This is one of the second months this year that we've hit the double-digit increase, and truly, with all the projects that are going on around the state, I'm not going to be surprised that we'll continue to see that, moving through the rest of these months. I know there's a lot of fiber work going on, a lot of DOT projects, a lot of electric, so really all over. So that's where we landed for the month. When we look at our year-to-date volume is up 6.4%. So we've already, through the end of July, received 1.6 million locate tickets. We are still on average at about 5.4 transmissions per locates. The other item I did want to bring to your attention, as we are really trying to whittle down some of these update tickets to take out, the noise in the system. The volume in July was 32% of all the volume was update tickets. So we're, once again, continue to encourage those contractors to reduce that ticket volume if they can. If you're not actively working in that area, please let the ticket life expire. Leave the ticket there in the system, and it will remain accessible for 90 days. So you can go back in, grab that ticket as long as nothing has changed on the project. You can update that ticket and then begin work back. So we encourage you guys to share that information too as well to your contractors that may work for you and those that you may come in contact with. Transmissions, we are at 1,322,521. So that was the total transmissions that went out in July, which was a 13.9% increase. And as you see, it's, compared to 1.1 million last year, it is a very large increase. So that means every transmission that goes out to our members, they're being charged. So just another opportunity for you to see how much money is being spent, in the system. Transmissions year to date, we are already at 8.8 million, which is a 7.2% increase compared to the same time last year. And so we can't say enough about how important it is to manage your tickets. All right, so we'll roll into our county by county snapshot. First, we'll start with Pasquotank. As you see here, we have actually a decrease in tickets. So the new ticket decrease was 27%. We had 332 tickets for your new projects that started. 68 of those were 3-hour tickets. We had 67 updates. So when you average it out, it's about 23 locates per day just for Pasquotank. So not a ton of work going on, but still, certainly as you look at year to date, the overall new ticket volume is considerably up, which is 82%. The 3 hours are up 125% compared to the same time last year. The good news is the updates are down. So overall, we landed with 5,133 tickets year to date, which if you average that out, it's about 35 locates per day. Where is the bulk of the work being done? Right there in Elizabeth City. We had one over in Morgan's Corners, Nixonton 2, Pasquotank 3, Weeksville 5, and Winslow 1. So someone's getting the message. When we look at our top callers, so we continue to try to provide this information to kind of give you an idea of where all this work's coming from. The AXCOM communication, as you see, you've got it listed there twice, and the reason being is if they place that their name in there differently, it's gonna shoot out differently as far as reports. So I've made myself a note to take a look at that, maybe check with RTE just to remind them to try to be consistent in that information. But I'm sure you guys know that ACTS or ACTS is a contractor working for Brightspeed, so they're installing cable for them. Central Utility, I've got that they're working for Utiliplex. ITG, that's a contractor for Spectrum. The Lamberts cable splicing, they're, handling the buried drops for Brightspeed. And I think, of course, Parker Stockstill is your contractor for your new services, Piedmont. Um, the Envirotech, I've got that they're working for the city of Elizabeth City, and they're placing sewer mains and some fire hydrants. So they're doing some work there. Atlantic Foundation. Sounds like you guys still have some residential going as well. They're working with Ryan Homes. Dirt Cheap, they're a plumbing contractor doing some water and sewer. And then finally, Pasquotank County Water, they're doing water and sewer taps, and obviously their general repairs. So, any questions on Pasquotank? All right. Well, moving over into Camden. Um, Camden, obviously, we're only seeing about 6 locates per day there. The volume for July, we had 116 new tickets, only 9 3-hour and 9 updates. So that's a good sign to see that the 3 hours are not terribly bad. So all together, overall, there is a 16.7% decrease in overall ticket volume. So once again, an average locate per day of 6. When we break down the year to date, actually down overall across the board for that county, 1,023 year to date tickets compared to 1,251 from last year. And so that decrease obviously is from the 3-hour and the updates, and then down about 79 new tickets. So average locates per day year to date is 7. Where's the work going on at? Camden had 79, South Mills 42, Shiloh 10, Elizabeth City 2, Indiantown 1, and Bellcross 1. When we break down those top callers, where the bulk of the tickets, 14 of those are coming from 4D Directional. And I have that they are a contractor working for Eastern Shore Communications and MediaCom, placing conduit. The Atlantic Foundations, they're also continuing to work for Ryan Homes over in Camden County. W&W Underground, MediaCom, they're a sub for MediaCom. So, between W&W Underground and 4D Directional, they're all working for MediaCom. The Dirt Cheap LLC, they're doing plumbing. South Camden Water and Sewer, issues, services, and any sort of repair. The BTL Fiber, they're a sub of Eastern Shore Communications. So once again, they're also, placing conduit as well. Moztec electric cable for Dominion Energy on them. W&W Underground again. Once again, you can see how they place their name in the system. So they're showing up 2 separate. So the bulk, they'll probably place the most tickets for MediaCom. And DOT, I had on these particular tickets. These were just for some street signs. And then finally, rounding out top 10, River City Construction. They were setting some poles, several poles for Albemarle EMC. All right, any questions on Camden? Well, with Perquimans, you're seeing a huge jump in volume compared to July of last year. 107% just on the new tickets, 321 compared to 155 last year. The 3 hour volume is up 40 tickets compared to 4 last year. And then what is extremely up is the updates, 1,226. So altogether, there's about 76 locates per day over in that area. And it looks like some of these projects are kicking up. When we break down the year-to-date volume, considerably up overall 340% with all the tickets in July. We rounded out with 6,748. So of all the volume, the update tickets doubled the new. So 1,053% on the updates. There were 380 updates last year at the same time, but there were 4,382. So let's look at where all the volume's coming from. The bulk of it is over in Hertford, Parkville at 186. We had Belvedere at 27, Bethel at 9, Windfall at 6, Woodville at 4, New Hope at 6. So just as you see here, the bulk of it being right over in Hertford. When we break down where all of the work's going on in the top 10 callers, Piedmont Utility Group. So they're a contractor working for Focus Broadband. They're placing a lot of conduit that we see. Middle Creek Cable, they're also they're a contractor for Focus, and then they are handling their buried drops, as well as Coal Underground is handling the buried drops for Focus Broadband. Of course, Axe again, you'll see them twice there working for Brightspeed. 4D Directional, they're also over in Perquimans working for Mediacom. The county water and sewer taps, and also, their general repairs. Fiber optic solutions, they're with ATMC. And then again, MasTec is doing some electric cable work for Dominion Energy. And then it's interesting, this lady here at the end, and we've got her rounding out top 10, Cheryl Lacey. This is a homeowner. And so when I pulled that up, it was really interesting. This homeowner placed 6 different tickets in order to get her drainage and irrigation marked, get those utilities. So she placed a ticket, she put in a 3 hour, and then she continued to place, I think, 4 retransmits. So these are the type of things that, though it be a homeowner, I guess you guys are juggling trying to figure out who's the most important. But what we find is we do not want our homeowners to lose faith in the system, because if they do, that's the biggest challenge that we have. We do so much, education. We do so much marketing to that homeowner population. And then if they lose faith in the system, that really is it's hard to reel it back in. So I would, certainly encourage, if there's anything we can do to help, obviously, please let us know. So what happens when the volume's high is you typically see a trend in damages going higher. We've got it broken down for your damages for July were total all across the state that was reported was 1,186. Of those, 3 were in Perquimans and then 2 in Pasquotank. We did not have any that were reported over in Camden County, but certainly we know that there are a good bit of damages that go unreported. So we'd encourage you, Just as a reminder, they're required by law to report to the member utility, and then second, provide us that information to 811. We in turn take these damages, roll these up at CGA into the DIRT program, and then that way you guys can go out there, join CGA, and be able to see that dashboard and where all of those damages are coming from. What I would say is we do have a spreadsheet we can provide you. I do provide that to the liaisons monthly, and it will provide you a breakdown of where they're at, who's causing them, the affected facility, what type of work was going on. So anything that is reported on those damages, we can provide back to you in a pivot table through a spreadsheet. So please let us know if you'd like that information. Next, our damages per 1,000 transmissions. I know for you pipeline operators, this is really important that we're taking a look at that. And so I think here you can see Pasquotank. You guys are kind of in the yellow when you break down your damages per 1,000. Perquimans, looks like you're in that green, which is great. And then Camden, there were none reported. So, technically on paper, it looks good, but certainly if you guys, when we, chat a little bit more in depth, we can talk about damages. Here is our bar graph to kind of give you an idea of our damages from 2023 to 2024. For the most part, you can see that these damages monthly, other than March, continue to rise. And, and rightly so. Typically when the volume's high, you're going to see a little bit higher risk. And so that's our whole focus, is to reduce that risk of damages. For July, we had overall across the state, as I said, 1,186 compared to 1,131 the same time last year. An overview of our Underground Damage Prevention Review Board. I do sit on that board as our representative for NC 811. In July, we heard 27 cases. Of those, 17 were issued Pipes Plus training, and $25,000 in fines were issued. We did have a considerable amount of those cases were placed by Dominion Energy. So we did hear a lot of those. And my understanding is we'll probably begin to see, even more and more cases coming from our pipeline operators. We will meet again in October, so that'll be coming up for our next meeting. And certainly we would encourage you to come join us, or you can dial in and listen to those meetings as well. Here we have our slate of officers for our 24-25 state UCC. Will Prescott, he's with Greenville Utilities out east there with you all, and he was voted in as the secretary. It is a progressive step up each year. So this year, Lindsay is our chair. We will be hosting our state UCC conference over in Wrightsville Beach for 2025. So we'll have more information to come on that one, but please, would love to have you guys get involved. And if you cannot attend the meetings, our next one coming up in a couple of weeks is actually going to be over in Jacksonville. So I would encourage you, if you can make it down, we would love to have you. Here is our education team. As you notice here at the end, Tyler Ross, he is our Western liaison. Tomorrow is actually his last day. And with that, we have hired a young man by the name of Rory Phipps, and he comes to us from Waynesville, the town of Waynesville, and he was a locator there. He does have a pretty diverse background as a firefighter, EMS, so he's got some really great skills that we feel like will be wonderful out in that western part of the state. So we welcome him to our family, and we definitely want to thank Tyler for all that he's done for us out that way as well. All right, with that, that's pretty much the end of the presentation. And after our meeting today, I'll certainly make sure everything gets uploaded. And if you need a copy of it prior to that, let me know. And I'll certainly provide the sign-in sheet too as well. All right. Well, with that, Jeremy, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you. I know we've got Daniel on from DOT. Did you want to go over any upcoming projects you may have?
Yeah, I'll go over some. Obviously, there's massive list, but I'm just kind of get to the ones that are going to be upcoming in the next couple of years. Start off with Camden. Ongoing, the Old Swamp Road to South Mills, be Camden and Currituck. It's a road widening project. Um, really have everything. Just waiting on one final telecom, the MediaCom, to get some final design changes into us for the encroachment. So once we have that, we have all the other information from and design plans we have from all the other utility owners to be able to submit our um, permit drawings to get our environmental permits to allow all work to start. Especially, I know we've been waiting for the permits for a while so power could start, and then subsequently after that, telecoms will be able to work after the power gets done. Um, so that was R 5717 on South Mills. And then you got R 5807 on NC 343. That'll be upcoming as well. Still in the early phases. I know we got some drainage that we're still working out. But we're going to start working on that, hitting that pretty hard in Camden as well. That's another road widening project, like I said, along NC 343. And then we do have a bridge in Camden on Carolina Road. That'll let uh, in March of 2028. So you still got some time on that one. And then also the let date for 5807 NC 343 is going to be December of 2027. But like I said, right now we're really focused on South Mills and Old Swamp Road. As soon as we can get the final utility design and encroachment for MediaCom, we'll be able to submit the environmental package to get the permits and allow them to start. So hopefully that'll be starting construction within the near future, probably in the next year or two or so. So those are the big three I have for Camden. Next, we'll go with Pasquotank. Got West Main Street Extension. I believe we really have all the plans from all the utility owners out there. That's going to let later on this year in December as well of 2024. With right away being done probably the next month or so. So hopefully after we acquire all the right away, we can allow power to start. And then, like I said, telecoms be after that. And then Pasquotank County Water will be moving in our contract. So then that's that one. We do have a bridge on Long Lane Road off Fire Tower Road in Pasquotank County. Pasquotank number 41 be a bridge replacement. That's going to be February of 2026. And then everybody's favorite in the Elizabeth City area are two, be U5939, the roundabout right there at Oak Stump Road. That'll be upcoming. But like I said, we're still in the very early phases. That's not really going to let till 2030, so it's still a ways out. But I just know that a lot of residents from the city of Elizabeth City didn't really take too kindly to that one during the public meeting, so just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Same thing with Hughes Boulevard, the additional roundabouts along Hughes Boulevard. That's also going to be in 2030 as well. And then for Perquimans, the big one for Perquimans, it would be New Hope Road. kind of like what we did in Woodville Road a couple years ago, or these past couple of years, just road widening. Unfortunately, I was out during the scoping meeting last week on vacation, so I really don't know what was talked about, but the lit date I have for New Hope Road right now is January 2030. But like I said, it's in the very early preliminary stages. So I really don't even think we have design plans yet, but I'm sure we'll be reaching out to a lot of y'all soon to get plans, start coordinating relocation efforts and stuff like that. So those are really the big projects that DOT has right now. Obviously, there might be some road maintenance or bridge maintenance pipes that might pop up here and there. Uh, ADA ramps, sidewalks, installation of new light signals, and signs here or there. But other than that, that's really all I have for right now. That's upcoming within the next, I'd say, 4 to 6 years.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir. Let us know if we can be any help to you. How about Perquimans County Water? You got Nick on? Got any projects coming up?
I mean, we not any big projects. As y'all saw for the with all the tickets, the fiber folks are keeping us quite busy. So I do, Daniel, I did get an email this week, I believe Monday, from somebody doing preliminary work for the New Hope widening down there, requesting some drawings. So that's the first really contact I've had with anybody about that section being widened. No, I mean, we're just really just locate tickets, fiber, taps. That's about it.
Yeah, Nick, this one's going to go from New Hope Road basically to where Woodville Road, I reckon, started or ended, and doing that. And like I said, we just had the scope meeting last week, but like I said, I was on vacation, so I don't know what was talked about, or even how far along it is. But I imagine it's still very, very early with the let date being that far out. But yeah, that'll probably be another big one in y'all's area for you and Calcraft. So, but
Yeah, it looks like from where we stopped the last, what I call, I guess, that phase two, this would be the third project. So phase three, in my mind, from Woodland Church down to Woodville Road.
yes, sir, that's correct.
We have the same scenario. We have a 12-inch main on one side and a 6-inch on the other. So it's likely to be very similar to the last project.
Yeah, I kind of figured we'd probably give y'all some more canals down there to drive the boats down the ditches and down the canal down there. So
Yeah, yes, sir. We love it. Love it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Anything else from Perquimans? All right. How about Mr. Morehouse? Did you have anything you wanted to, any projects you have coming up?
No, we don't have anything major. As many of y'all know, SNN is taking over the Brightspeed contract for North Carolina. Just want to let everyone know we've got about a 3,000 ticket backlog, which is really good. We were working pretty high there for a little while. It's kind of hard taking over a contract in the middle of dig season, but things have been going really well. Looking at other opportunities around the first of the year, looking at trying to get more, locating contracts. So we're increasing our footprint here in North Carolina, along with our fiber overhead and underground, along with the locating. So everything's going pretty good.
Brian, are you the contact if I have questions or concerns or anything over here for Clemens?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and I'll get you in touch with whoever you may need. We do have on the tickets, we do have a new point of contact for the field contact. That is Lisa Olson. and she would be the one to reach out to if you do have anything on ticket help you in any way. Please don't throw my number away. My number is in the chat section. Feel free to email me or reach out to me by phone, and I will help you in any way I possibly can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I see Kyle Kraft on. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about?
No, sir. We don't have any major projects going on. I have contractors in Camden currently working on 343. It's a reconductor, rebuild of an existing line. That'll probably through this year and most of next year be in that area. We've got a few that we're working with DOT on. That's about it. What I have anyway.
All right. Thank you. I know as far as for us, right now, kind of my team and my direction, we're inundated with fiber tickets just like anybody else. Piedmont Utility Group, I don't know if Perquimans County Water's having the same issue, but they're calling in update tickets on some pretty much done projects that they're already done with. That's pretty much why the update tickets for Perquimans is probably so high. But
Absolutely. Yeah, they're still calling it update tickets from the beginning, which I think they started, I want to say back in February.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is they're jumping around so bad. So they go work in an area, they go somewhere else, then come back, and it's kind of tough keeping up and trying to figure out where to stay ahead. And most of our stuff, 99% of our stuff is plastic with no tracer wire. So there is no magical way of locating other than old fashioned probe rod. And so and I essentially have three guys to do all the tickets that you guys are seeing. So it's been a chore trying to juggle and keep ahead. And, but yeah, a lot of it is update tickets from older stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we're having the same issues in Chowan County as well with that, and call in long strings of update tickets. A lot of it stuff they were already worked. So we've had some discussions with them about just calling in what they're actually needing, but we'll see how it goes.
Have they met with you all at all as far as a one-on-one on the job site or any of that? Or the reason I'm asking is I can pull a report and send over to them on their updates, because that's pretty much what we do with the LRPC. That's a really huge focus on those. So I'm happy to, certainly pull some reports. It looks like there's one of the callers that places the tickets is Michaela Drury, and Chris Beeson is who I'm showing as their field contact. So have you guys talked with Chris?
Yeah, we've had some discussions with Chris, and that they've got some other lead folks up there, and every time they call in updates, we get up with them and see are they actually working in there, and they're basically saying there's lack of communication between them and their staff calling in tickets. So that may be a help if you could
Yes.
pull that
Okay.
report.
All right, I will. And then, Jeremy, I will copy you on it since you are the chair. And that way you can kind of provide some feedback at the next meeting, but I'll pull some of that today and, copy you on it as well.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, and I have I did have a meeting with them in the very beginning in the field, and I pretty much told them that if they didn't give me maps where I could stay ahead of them of where they were going, that they were going to be sitting around waiting for us to locate. And it worked out pretty well. And I've actually I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, but basically the approach we have taken is that when they call in tickets, we don't go out and locate just because they call tickets in. I talk to Chris generally on, say, Monday morning, somewhere in that neighborhood, Monday afternoon. And I try to pin him down for a handful of areas that he has white lined to go locate and try to stay ahead of them. We'll try to stay about 2 weeks ahead of them. Normally, it doesn't always work out, but I will not send my crew out until he goes and puts white paint on the ground.
So I'm looking at I just pulled up a random ticket back from July, and just FYI, if you're not responding at all to the positive response, it's going to code out as a 999. So, that in turn is going to produce a 3-hour ticket. So I would just say, be careful that you don't respond because it appears that there's been no response whatsoever. Because
Yeah, there's not a response because they're calling tickets in, and then it's 2 weeks before they go out there. And if I go locate, send my guys out to put the effort in and locate, by the time they go out there, the marks are gone, and I'm not going back out there again.
Well,
So,
what I'm referring to is placing some sort of positive response in the system. And it
Right.
could be that, you guys, I guess, use a code 60 excavator, and locator agreed and documented marking schedule. Because otherwise, if you're not responding at all to the tickets with positive response, they're all coding a 999, showing that you did not respond at all.
right, gotcha.
So that on the back end, that's information that we report to our board on a quarterly basis. And so when we start seeing, those positive response codes, it's 999, then, that triggers us to, to begin to start looking at that. So I would encourage you at least to put some sort of positive response in there, because otherwise it makes it appear that you've not responded at all.
Right.
And just to clarify on that, sorry,
No, go ahead.
as long as you put down, you met with the contract and agreed to a documented a time to meet up on site, that's considered a positive response on our end.
So, certainly you want to make sure that that is true and accurate. If you've talked with them, then certainly use the positive response. But if you don't put anything within the system, our system's automatically going to code it a 999. So, and like I said, I'm looking at one ticket here, and that was the case for the water. So I would, certainly use it. And then once you go back to locate it, or, or if you're going to put marks on the ground, then you can go back in and change that positive response again to marked, or, so I would certainly at least place some sort of positive response, because that is that communication between you and the excavator. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
it does make sense. Just,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those numbers, are skewed. I won't say useless, but they're skewed just like the damage numbers, that don't get reported.
Sure. Absolutely.
None of that stuff gets reported. So you kind of have to, I guess, take it with.
Right.
so to speak. But yeah, but I certainly understand what you're saying. Makes sense.
Yeah. Like I said, I just don't want it to come back on you guys and say somewhere down the road, your leadership is requesting reports and they're all showing, no response whatsoever. So,
Yes, it's never about a full-time job just to respond to the tickets.
absolutely. So let us know how we can assist you with those, because, that is a requirement that you all provide that positive response, as well as it's a requirement by the contractors to check it. So let us know how we can help you on that.
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's that now.
Jeremy, Jason came into our meeting. Jason Smith.
Yeah, he's our construction supervisor for Piedmont, so he's
Okay.
gonna actually run through some projects for us.
Super.
Hey, hope y'all are doing well. Apologize I joined late. Been traveling this morning, so a couple of things we have coming up is Ranch Drive in Elizabeth City. That's going to be over there near part of where that Oak Stump roundabout is going to be connected with U5939. We got some customer interest on there. It's a little 2-inch main going in there to serve a customer off Ranch Drive. So that'll probably be affected by the U5939 at some point as well. So we've got that within our scope also. Currently out, speaking of the 5939 project, we've got Jeremy Mees and his team are getting some depths on existing main out there so we can identify conflict areas. So we're again, that's within our scope of radar right now, that we're trying to identify those areas and put a plan together to work with the DOT on that. Poindexter Street, we've got a short main extension there. El Sunoco Drive there in Elizabeth City as well. Short main extension over in Camden. Japonica Drive is another small main project we have. And then Grace Drive in Elizabeth City, there where the U-Haul's being built, short main extension there. We're currently waiting to schedule to verify main and our location over there behind the 7-Eleven to proceed with sizing that main out to go down Grace Drive. Aside from that, that's really about all we've got going on. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out.
Great, thank you, Jason. Anybody else have anything good for the group? All right. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Appreciate Ann providing us with the information.
You are so welcome. So I guess since we only meet quarterly, we will not meet again till the next quarter. So Howard should be back by then. And of course, in the meantime, I've provided my information in the chat too as well. If you all need something from us, please let us know. And I will certainly work on, I'll work on some of that information, Jeremy, for the Piedmont Utility Group. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you all. Well, I hope you all have a blessed day.
Thank you.